Newstalk ZB.
3 minutes away from 8. Monday morning means the Prime Minister's in the studio. Very good morning to you.
Good morning, Mike. I've just come from TVNZ. They said they'd take you for Celebrity Treasure Island.
Oh, they did they?
Yeah.
I know.
I said I don't think you'll survive.
No, I know. If I enter, I win. I've got to win.
Come on, you'd be hopeless at it. Let's be honest about it.
You come in here.
Well, no, you're going to hit me with all your questions. I got to say, I think, it's nice you're going to give it a go, but I can't see you surviving without your big screen TV ranting and raving at it.
That's probably true. It's probably true, to be fair. Did you, no insult intended at all, but did anything tangible come out of the weekend with Elba? Apart from we're all good friends and we all agree that there needs to be a ceasefire, etc.
Yeah, he and I have got quite a lot of sort of regular contact irrespective of these sort of formal set piece meetings. But the big thing was saying, hey, listen, we've had this single economic market, we've had this CER thing going for a while, we've got good, we've made good progress on that over 30 years or so, but we actually should revisit all of that and actually say why on earth are our standards, and so we've got our New Zealand standards, Australian standards bodies working together. You've seen things like chartered accountancy bodies come together as one organisation, but he's got challenges within the states, within Australia, that they sort of have differences of standards and regulations and stuff. And if we can get rid of some more of that stuff, it's not sexy stuff, but it actually does make the boat go faster.
So something will come out of that?
Yeah, so we've got the leaders. We met with the Australian New Zealand Leadership Forum, which is CEOs on both sides of big businesses on each side of the Tasman, and we've tasked them to think through what more we could be doing, just the dumb stuff that's just idiotic that we should get rid of.
Okay, PNG, since you were last here, you're up there, and we've got looking for an embassy now. What was the point of that?
Look, PNG is quite important in the Pacific. It's 3/4 of the Pacific landmass, 3/4 of the Pacific population, and it's sort of, I think I said to you, 11 to 15 million people to have to be on their census, and it's in the middle of Asia and Pacific, and so it's actually quite an important country in the region, and it's got growth potential, young population, and so there's actually New Zealand businesses that have actually been doing quite well up there, and core infrastructure building and some development that's taking place.
A lot was made of the fact you were there when you could have been in the Cooks, but you're not for obvious reasons. Was that deliberate?
Well, our message very clearly to the Cooks is we've got an issue with the Cook Islands government. Actually, there's no political contact at this point. We're letting our officials work through what we can do to mitigate the risks that we see in those comprehensive strategic partnerships signed with China. Our issue is not with the Cook Islands people, but it is definitely with the Prime Minister and with the government there, and we expect them to engage with us on that conversation. So 50th celebration, 50-year anniversary of PNG independence, and yes, I was there.
Right, mixed message from you last week. You said the chances are 15% isn't coming down to 10. There's not a lot we can do about it. Fair enough. Why is Macleay now in Washington then?
I think our trade officials and
I thought Macleay was going.
No, he's been in Indonesia.
Indonesia signed that. Yeah. He's not going to Washington.
Well, he will go, but I just say to you, it's not actually just about the tariffs. We actually need what I'm trying to do with our relationship with the US since I started was to say it's not just leader to leader, Trump and I. It's actually making sure we know there's 15 to 20 people that we've got to build out across that system, and so having ongoing dialogue, conversation with them is the right thing to keep doing, irrespective of the fact we don't like the 15% tariffs, and we can keep talking about it, but we also have to sort of accept I don't think it's changing, as I said last week.
Okay, fair enough.
But him having an ongoing dialogue is something I really want to see, Mike, because I think in the past we've just been very reliant on a Prime Minister and a President occasionally being able to talk, and in there you need to pick up the phone to big senators, you need to pick up the phone to other secretaries in the cabinet.
Okay, Indonesia. What did we get out of that, by the way? Because that got no coverage. It's an agricultural deal. Is that dollars? Is it actual dollars?
Yeah, Indonesia's one that we really want to work quite hard at. And I was due to go there earlier in the year, and for a number of reasons, domestic issues, it didn't happen. I met with Prabowo, who I got on very well with. But that's a massive economy. It's the largest economy in Southeast Asia, and the Australians have always done a good job since Keating and Hawke on building out their relationship with Indonesia, and we've been, haven't done that. And so we've got to build the relationship and get the connectivity in there. Winston's got a good relationship with the team, the leadership there. Todd's building up the trade relationships, and it's a bit like the Indian experience. Like I had to build that relationship back over a year period before we could then get in and do more conversations.
Shane Jones met with the big gas users on Friday. Is anything coming out? What's the point? We're out of gas. we're running out of gas, what's the point of a meeting?
Yeah, well, I mean, first thing is we've put in place a strategic coal reserve to make sure we don't end up in the disaster that we've had in the past. So people may not like the coal, but welcome. New Zealand's now the only country doing the transition from domestic gas to international coal by virtue of the problems of the previous administration. And we've put the legislation in place to end the oil and gas ban. There are real challenges about how do you actually get someone here incentivised to actually explore and actually get gas out of New Zealand. That's been the chilling effect of that decision of ending oil and gas. If you're a big global multinational, you're not putting hundreds of millions of dollars of assets in here. So we've had to design that legislation to make sure they understand that we're happy to co-invest with them to actually build back that confidence.
That's the $200 million.
Yes.
But equally, Balance announces last week they're running out of gas in September. They've got a contract problem at that point. So urea is moderately important given we're, I don't know, a farming nation.
There are two big gas suppliers, Balance and also Methanex. And both of them have actually been running down their production over the last 4 years.
You can't have companies closing down for months on end.
But this is what the point I've been trying to make is it's a lovely bumper sticker. It really is great to say you want to end the oil and gas ban, but when you don't think through the second and third order consequences of that, people end up losing their jobs. And good people, we don't want people coming out of that sector and losing their jobs.
No.
So what they can do at the moment is the gas that they have, they've got to ration and reallocate and use and all that sort of stuff.
Okay.
But that doesn't get you far.
It does not. Jones also mused about special economic zones, particularly up in Northland. He did that late last week. It's not a coalition thing, but is there something in that, do you think?
I've looked at special economic zones because I was quite a fan, years ago, but the reality is we're actually quite small, and we should be able to say, for goodness sake, what we do in a special economic zone, we should be able to do across the whole of New Zealand. So, getting the RMA sorted, I personally think taking out regional councils, that stuff that Bishop will introduce by the end of the year, the stuff that he's doing in the next week or two around what's called Amendment Bill 2 will sort of help get the thing moving a bit quicker.
Before you went to Queenstown, Hipkins was in Queenstown alluding to the fact he may well run on capital gains tax. Would you be happy to run a campaign
bring that on. I mean, honestly, if you seriously think a wealth tax, a capital gains tax or an inheritance tax, the thing that I was quite alarmed about, you had Chloe Swarbrick saying she wants to be finance minister, and you didn't have Chris Hipkins defend Barbara Edmonds. He didn't say he didn't rule it out, right? And she wants to add $44 billion worth of more debt, $88 billion worth of taxes. I'm telling you, it's very interesting. I don't know whether you've followed what's happening in the UK. Some of the changes they've made with their taxes. They've had CEOs and wealthy people leave with capital very, very quickly, and that would happen here in New Zealand in a heartbeat.
£42 billion
Our wealth creators and our generators, I'm telling you, people don't want to hear it, but they would take off.
Well, to be fair, the Maori Party would provide the balance then with that three, wouldn't they?
It would be a wonderful cabinet with Chloe as your finance minister, co-prime ministers Rauri, Debbie, who else we got in there? Marama.
As much as you may laugh, the Curia poll out this morning has Labor in front of you. Explain it.
Well, pretty tough time. I mean, I don't go into polls because every time there is a different poll every week in this country, and people don't want me talking about myself or polls. I think the big trend is pretty obvious. People expect us to fix the economy. It's as simple as that. So fix it, and then in 2026, they'll make their call. The
boot camps, 8 out of 10 reoffended. You guys still say it's a success. How do you defend it?
Well, I mean, the point is these are the toughest kids in the country. We've got to do something different because we were in a pretty bad place. The boot camps, there are elements of it worked well. When the kids are actually in the academies, that went great. We'd probably want to extend that time to give them more of that. We clearly didn't manage there's more work to do on managing them back into the community, and yes, there was reoffending that took place. But I just say, look, I mean, people say, I'll give up on the boot camps. The point is, well, we've got to try doing something, right? I mean, you just can't carry on leaving as it was.
No, you can't, but then the cost was the factor. I mean, the amount of money you pumped into each kid was enormous.
It was, I get it, and it was a good, so we've got to take the learnings out of that pilot and actually sort of, get, I think, a longer academy phase and better community support for these tough kids. They've actually got a choice to make. All we're trying to do is give them an option to say, we know where your life's going. It's a bad trajectory. You've got a chance to turn it around and do something different. This is that intervention to do it. But I just say, Mike, the thing that's really encouraging is that actually our youth offending is down 13%. RAM rates are down almost 60%. And so that a general approach that we've had around consequences has got through to young people, and that's a good thing.
All right, good to see you. Appreciate it.
Good to see you.
Prime Minister, 14 to 8.